Well, we finally know why Cracker Barrel decided to ditch the entire effort their CEO wished to bring to consumers. Rebranding, blanding, and a logo all out the door. More than half the company betted on that being a big win. But no, gone with the wind is the Cracker Barrel redo. Today, we'll tell you why they abandoned all hope so quickly. And would you believe it has to do with a European car company? Hello folks, welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we continue to give you the news you need to know. Connecting the dots is what we do around here. And the drive-by, going extinct dinosaur media, get your jumbo pencils ready for tomorrow's headlines. Folks, let's dive in, crumbling the cornbread. Click the like button, drop a comment, tell us what you think about the video. And here we go. All right, folks, from Tasting Table, what's happening with Cracker Barrel's renovations after the logo change uproar by AJ Forget? That's a cool last name. I don't know if I would want the last name to be Forget, but I can only imagine every time we went to the doctor's office and they called out your name, they'd make a joke about it. But, you know, we won't do that to poor AJ because it's happened 1,000 times. It says what's happening with the Cracker Barrel's renovations after the logo change uproar. I want to show this to you because we know now why Cracker Barrel had to do what they did, which was totally, utterly change course, drop the what the CEO wanted to do. They bet more than half of the company's entire value on this, and it fell so flat on its face. I'm going to show you why they had to completely run away from it. A few weeks ago, it might have been hard to imagine the amount of uproar that could be generated by a restaurant chain choosing to update its logo. Don't you love the framing? Don't you love the way they lied to you? It wasn't the logo. I mean, a little bit on the logo, but it was really, hey, we've changed how we make the food. We've turned it into slop. We are also not going to give you the authentic experience in the dining room. We're going to change that. It's going to look barn chic now. It's no longer Cracker Barrel. We're embarrassed of Cracker Barrel. We're embarrassed of Americana. But they frame it as a logo. But here we are with Cracker Barrel embroiled in a nationwide controversy so great that the commander-in-chief himself felt the need to weigh in. Now, after the new logo was canceled, nationwide renovation plans are also being thrown under the rocking chair, which means it was not just a logo. And they go on to talk about just how poorly this was executed and received and all of that. Talks about, I guess they're even now saying that they will, I'm shocked by this, will go into the remodeled stores maybe and make some changes, putting the original artifacts back on the wall. I don't think they're going to repaint them and that kind of thing, but this is a pretty big deal. But why did Cracker Barrel? They were all in. They bet the entire company on this. Like, this was no holds barred. They came out as a company and said, we're irrelevant. We must do this because we're irrelevant. So they bet the entire company on making those changes. So, how did they? Well, here's why. Folks, for the past month, Cracker Barrel is down 9%. And the only reason that it's only down 9% is because we're not measuring from the highs. We're measuring from basically the middle. This was going down and it was not going to stop. You might say to yourself, well, Pro, they canceled the stuff and it's still down there. So clearly that's not what was the problem. And it's like, no, it just stopped it. This company bet everything they had and they just stopped the bleeding. Now they don't know what they're going to do. There's no strategy to get out of this situation. All they did was say, whatever we were up to, we're not going to do that because that isn't going to work. But they didn't come out with some brand new vision. They don't have some brand new idea to bring people back. They've had the cornbread beat out of them. And all they did was say, we're going to hit the pause button. Take a look at this, folks. Here's why. Are you ready?
Well said.
Here's why. From the New York Post, July 1st of this year. Remember when Jaguar did those the ultra woke changes? Remember when Jaguar came out with the cars that looked like melted lipstick? And Vash, if you've got the B-roll in that, I don't know if we still have B-roll in Jaguar. We got to get that up on the screen. The New York Post had this in July, and Cracker Barrel saw this was coming. How bad did going ultra woke damage Jaguar? Jaguar for our British friends. 98%. You can't be a company with 98%. Jaguar sales in Europe plunged a shocking 97.5% following a botched rebrand that included a commercial featuring men in skirts to announce its upcoming pivot towards an all-electric fleet, but the cars have yet to arrive at dealerships. 97.5%. Now, if you were in business class, you would basically say that's statistically impossible. Like if you said that any company would come out and make a decision and it would result in a 97.5% loss in transactions, most people would say, I don't care how bad the decision is. Like Ronald McDonald could sacrifice Grimace on an altar of French fries and they would not lose 97.5% of their customers. But going ultra woke, it actually will do that. And we've seen that, by the way, with Lightyear and Pixar and all the stuff they did. Strange World, yeah, that was strange, eh? The results for that. Cracker Barrel was looking at this, I believe, and I think they saw Jaguar numbers. And that meant either change this now or no longer be a company. That was the only thing left bigger than the egos of the C-suite of Cracker Barrel. Jonas, when you look at that 97.5% decline in Jaguar, it boggles the mind. I think that's what was going to happen at Cracker Barrel. I think that's why they had to change. What are your thoughts on this? And Jonas, do you think that going, whatever woke is, however we want to define it, do you think that has become so unpopular now that it is the least popular thing any company can do for their brand?
Yes, on so many levels. So let's talk about this from several different angles. First of all, Jaguar, they weren't adding to the brand; they were replacing the brand one with another. They decided they weren't going to be the classic car company; they were going to be whatever this is.
Oh wait! I'm sorry. Did you say Jaguar or Cracker Barrel? I'm trying to hang with you.
Jaguar.
Okay. They both sound so similar right now. Okay, keep going.
And then with Cracker Barrel, again, they were taking the thing that everyone likes. It wasn't additive. They were reducing the product while also changing the image of that product to something that is updated. So where they were reducing quality, where they weren't keeping the same product that would get people to stay there with them. And they were also trying to attract new customers at the same time. I don't understand why these two steps, I don't understand why they would think that would work. When you look at a lot of companies, the larger the company, the more likely they are to say like, well, we're just going to buy this other company and then we'll work together. We'll get some economies of scale. And like the warehouses that they store everything in, they'll do that in one location instead of hiring two different staffs to man two different locations and things like that. In this case, they said, well, we don't like the company that we were. We're going to fix this to be new and modern, despite the fact that the company itself is founded 100%. Day one marketing was even though they're kind of like 1950, we're a 1920s.
You know what their idea was, Jonas? Their idea was, hey, we got this shovel that's on the wall. Like it's a real shovel from the 1930s. What if we took that down and we put up a picture of AI art of a shovel from the 1930s? We'd like that better, and we'll make it look better than the real shovel. They hate the authenticity of what Cracker Barrel was. Whatever you think about Cracker Barrel, they can't stand authentic. They want plastic, and I'm not sure the plastic's not in the biscuits and the cornbread. I mean, after all, they've been sitting there for days now, being heated up in the microwave. Vash, Cracker Barrel, reverse course 180. This is not a logo change. This is not as simple as, oh gosh, those blueberry pancakes. Turns out people want boysenberry pancakes. No, this is, we bet the entire company on this. This was like, Cracker Barrel was worth $1.2 billion. It's not worth that anymore. They bet more than $700 million on this. This was an all-in, everything is on the line, and it bombed big time.
It bombed very, very hard. And it's funny when you mention AI art, I'm taking it back to another company who decided putting up AI art was a good idea in their interiors. But I digress. I look at something like Cracker Barrel, and I really wanted to examine like what was the driving force behind this, because I was really trying to get into the head of like, why would you do this? Why would you destroy this brand so utterly? And I think I've explained this before. I'll go ahead and explain it again. I think they were looking at a clientele that was aging out, and one that had really kind of receded, especially post-pandemic. When consumer habits changed, that clientele that was a little bit older did not come back in the way that they envisioned, and so I think they had declining sales as a result. And I think they were reticent. They were hesitant to increase the price of their food because I maybe they felt that the only reason why people are coming in the first place is because we're a little bit of more of a cheaper option, and that's where you get like the frozen biscuits and so forth. They're trying to cut costs any way they can, with a declining consumer base. And so it's like, okay, well, how can we become more relevant? Well, we'll go ahead and go in this, Taco Bell direction, I guess, or this more modern aesthetic. Definitely, it's going to appeal to a West Coast crowd, and all of our problems will be solved.
It didn't appeal to the West Coast crowd, though, Vash.
Exactly.
Because the West Coast crowd said, wait a minute, this is supposed to be like a Southeastern, Appalachian kind of thing, and why does it look like every other thing we got over here now?
Exactly. I mean, and that's really the tragic thing about all of this is because for the West Coast crowd that might have been interested in something like this, they would have been taken by the authenticity more than this attempt to appeal to them.
It would be like
see through.
It would be like a Louisiana style kitchen coming to California, and somebody's so excited they go in there and they're like, oh man, I can't wait to try this out. And they get in there and they sit down and they're looking forward to the gumbo, they're looking forward to the jambalaya, and the menu is avocado on toast.
Yeah, and they would have been far better off increasing the food quality and bringing back mama's cooking kind of thing, and really trying to bring people in, maybe even people who kind of heard that Cracker Barrel's quality had gone down and so forth, bringing those people in, maybe eating the checks just for a little bit, and then as demand picks up, you can increase those prices commensurate with the rate of inflation. Unfortunately, they just didn't do any of that and burned their entire brand.
How many more times? How many more times? How many more times did they try these things and watch? Think about Disney for a minute, guys. Disney puts out Lightyear. Disney puts out Strange World, and they get 10% of the box office they would get on anything else. This is clearly the least efficient way. Well, no, let me change that. I'm going to switch that. I was going one way with it. I'm going to reverse it. This is the most efficient way to destroy your companies, whatever this is.
Right. You think about the $700 million that they spent remaking this company. They probably could have just benefited from, have you tried advertising? I'd never see Cracker Barrel advertisements outside of the interstate. What if you actually did a legitimate advertising campaign? Go 50 million, go 100 million, try to get influencers in there, and go look at look at this otherworldly place we've just walked into. By the way, the food is fantastic. People love secrets. People love that if you walk into some place and, by the way, they have amazing food. That is the kind of thing that gets people in, as opposed to, this looks like Chip and Joanna Gaines might have come in here and sent in the C team.
Marvin, if they're going to start advertising, I'll do a sponsorship with Cracker Barrel. Will you?
I would in a heartbeat. Well, now that they've changed course. But that was the point I was going to make, is if they were going to do influencers, they should have gone with right-leaning influencers. It's just the problem is, I think a lot of these companies, especially with CEOs like Julie Fels-Massino, they see marketing to conservative or right-wing customers to be somehow problematic. It isn't. I go back and forth sometimes between like this and Jaguar and Bud Light and like Miller Lite, whether it's them not understanding their core audience or outright purposely rejecting their core audience in search of a new one. Because Miller Lite and Bud Light decided, like, hey, you know what cheap domestic beer audiences want, or what they really hate, is girls in bikinis. So let's go away from that. And remember, Miller Lite did that whole big thing where they were like throwing out the old ads they did of the girls in bikinis. That one, that didn't get nearly as much play as the Bud Light one did, but I mean, equally disastrous. It's a matter of having contempt for the target audience instead of embracing them. You grow with the target audience. You evolve along with what they like. And right now, when we're seeing such a shift in the country, more so to the right, then Cracker Barrel should have doubled down on making it more homey, on making it more home style cooking, on red, white, and blue everywhere. Like that. That's what it should have been.
Right.
Instead, they tried to make it Starbucks.
You don't throw out your bread and butter in order to pursue an audience that will never accept you in the first place. And how many times have we seen that before? In fact, that Jaguar ad, by the way, is super funny because I was trying to look it up, for visuals for this. I couldn't find it on YouTube. Jaguar took it down. I had to go to Twitter in order to find this ad right here. So they pivoted, to a fair degree on this advertising campaign and acknowledged their mistakes, at least by taking their videos down and so forth. I don't know what that means for Jaguar. I think 98% sales down, that's no good. But for Cracker Barrel, there is a moment by which you can earn people back. Man, I mean, they did super destruction to their brand.
When you walk into a Buc-ee's, there's red, white, and blue everywhere. There's like hunter shirts. There's barbecue. There's beef jerky. I mean, they lean into it as well. They should. They come from Texas. They're not giving up their roots. Could you imagine if you walked into a new Buc-ee's and it looked like World of Disney?
Hey, welcome to Buc-ee's. We've got some potpourri over here for you.
We've got this fat-free Beyond beef jerky.
That's right.
Oh my!
It's made from real, not real beef. All right, folks, that's where we'll have to leave it right now. Where's the beef? Well, not at Cracker Barrel yet. They're still trying to fix things and avoiding what happened to Jaguar. They were on the slide down. I don't know what that is, folks, but I think aliens made it, and maybe aliens were making the decisions for the C-suite of Cracker Barrel. As ever, folks, we endeavor to have a good time here on the Pro Channel, and I have to say that spending time with you, talking about things that truly matter, like the stories that shape our lives and our culture, well, it is the ride of a lifetime to steal from Bob Iger. And that's the only thing we'll steal from Bob because he has great security around his yacht. Folks, as we get ready to say goodbye, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, and stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment right on down below. Let us know your thoughts. We would love to hear from you. And folks, worry not, for more content is still on the way. 3 or 4 times a day, let's do 4. I think that's better. And you know what? Don't forget that the Pro Show is live Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Eastern. You can also join us for our friends on That Park Place, our partner program. We have a good time there too. Folks, until the next time we get the opportunity to have a good time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as ever, keep having fun.
Jump into the water. Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.